Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa. And on this hashtag Motivation Monday, I am so motivated to get my mind and money right. So we've invited Harriette to the show to share her secrets all the way from the UK. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to LA.
Thank you so much.
So share with us a little bit about your expertise and how you developed it.
Okay, so I am the leading money mindset expert and coach from the UK, and I've just recently kind of rebranded myself as a consciousness coach. I'm also a high priestess of light, which means I work twofold with the mindset of people and the energy of people, right? Because we're in this very rapidly evolving world. People are waking up to their spirituality. I heard you guys talking earlier about flow and alignment. There's so many more entrepreneurs stepping out into the world, doing their special thing, like delivering their gift. And I see the thing that blocks people time and time and time again is this money mindset thing. Like, they've got this amazing thing that they want to get out in the world, but like making money from their special gift is a huge block because we're all so conditioned to believe that money's hard to come by, money's finite, money's always going to run out, like debt's a bad thing, credit's a bad thing, like all these things. I've been in business for 13 years and I made my first million when I was 29, and that was just 3 years after I almost filed for bankruptcy. So I've done my fair share of money mindset work, development, and I was just approached maybe 4 years ago by a few people saying, I love what you've done with your life. Like, you've gone from near bankruptcy to making your first million. It's amazing. You're so confident. Like, your mind's amazing. Your energy's amazing. How do you do what you do? Will you teach me? So I said, yeah, sure. And literally 4 years later, I fly all over the world. I've just flown into LA today to teach people, to coach people, and help them with their mindset and with their energy so that they can do their best thing.
Yeah. What was that thing when you shifted from, bankruptcy, and then what was that moment or that day that what happened to skyrocket you to making $1 million?
Do you know what? At that point, I was nearly $250,000 in debt. And everybody around me, my parents, my accountants, my lawyers, my solicitors, my friends, even my partner at the time was saying, just go bankrupt, go get a 9 to 5, go into corporate, like, you're a smart girl, you'll figure it out, it'll be fine. And there was just that tiny little voice in me that was like, if I do that to myself, that's suicide.
Yeah,
like,
really,
that,
yeah.
It's like my soul would just die a death. I cannot do that to myself. So there was just like this fire underneath me that really motivated me to find a different way. Because I think up until this point, I'd been doing what many entrepreneurs do, which is that hustle thing. Like, working their ass off 24/7, like hustle, marketing funnels, spending on ads, like doing all the networking thing. And I was like, there's a different way. And I guess there was like an inner soul calling or something guided me to my spirituality. I ended up on a Kundalini yoga mat, making an absolute tit out of myself. But that yoga session led me to my spiritual guru, who then took me down this amazing spiritual path. I became an energy healer. I initiated as priestess. And I realized that the thing that had been missing this whole time was energy and consciousness. Like, there's only so much you can do with your mind. There's only so far you can push yourself. And it was that spiritual thing. And as soon as that penny dropped and it clicked, I got myself out of debt. And then I set up several new companies and coaching and magic.
Excuse me, if you will, though, for just a second, because that sounds way too good to be true. And I know many of our viewers, like me, are thinking, well, that's great. You sat on a yoga mat and you became a millionaire. Listen, I've sat on a yoga mat at least half a dozen times and I'm not a millionaire. So what was the difference? I mean, what is it in the mindset? Because I can believe that I am worthy. I can believe that I am abundant, and yet still have not received. So what is it in that block that really you were able to sit on a yoga mat and become a millionaire? That's incredible.
Yeah, sure. I mean, listen, that was just the start of it, and you're completely right. People tell themselves they believe stuff, but the belief's only a tiny part of it. So our beliefs determine our decisions, that determine our actions, and then our outcomes and our subsequent reality, right? Our beliefs come from the cerebral programming. So as we go through life and we experience life, it's like our ego has this computer that takes all of the experiences that we've had in life, and it makes this concurrent belief system that says you can have X, Y, Z. So then many of us go to self-development and we try to reprogram our beliefs. But many people sit on a yoga mat and say, I am worthy, I can do this, and it doesn't happen. Why? Because belief is only this deep. There's so much more to it. There's consciousness. So this is the difference that I've developed that I really help my clients with. Is I don't just work with your beliefs, your decisions, and your actions. I work with your energy. I work with your consciousness. It's not just in the mind, it's in your energy. So everything you believe at cellular level. Right? But I take you beyond that and I help you believe it at an energetic level. And then, do you know what? I'm a really kick-ass coach, so I make sure you do the damn work. Of course. Right? Yeah. You've got to do the damn work to make it happen. But if you're attacking it from what I call the 7 different dimensions, then literally anything is possible. And I mean, touch wood, my clients are phenomenal. But at this point in time, I have a 100% success rate with my clients.
Wow.
Every single one of them has achieved financial freedom because, one, I kick their ass, but 2, I work with them on 7 different dimensions of energy, mindset, belief, decisions, actions, and outcomes.
Love that. So when you had this incredible sort of transformative shift in your attitude and in your mindset, what decisions and then what actions did you take that led to, a continued sort of ramping up of your professional success?
Do you know what? I think even if you're not into the spiritual stuff, which I guess a lot of people aren't, right? And you're just starting out on the belief thing and the self-development, I think the one thing that pushed me was refusing to give up. I think so many people are so quick to give up at the minute, and because of all the stuff that's on social media and in the news, and this feeling like there's so much competition in whatever industry you're in, people compare themselves, they fall into that comparisonitis, it shoots them down to a point where they think, do you know what, there's no point, I'll never get there. It's that commitment to keep going. I call it personal responsibility.
Yeah,
if you
good.
take personal responsibility for your own success and you just keep going, no matter how many times it looks like it's never going to happen, or no matter how many times you think you're going to fail, or perhaps you do fail. But I see failure as a good thing because it's just one way that doesn't work. So technically, you're one step closer, right? But for me, it's personal responsibility, and I think this is where I'm quite hard on my clients. If they get into victim status or they start the blame game or a pity party, like, oh, well, me, it's not going to happen. I'm like, no, bitch. Let's go again. Let's do it again. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
It's that personal responsibility. And this comes from a place of, I believe every single person on the planet has something beautiful to contribute. And this comes from my part as priestess. So I believe everyone on the planet has the same 2 incarnation intentions. Number 1 is to have a human, physical, emotional experience, which we're all doing, right? But number 2 is to take that experience and use that to contribute to the collective consciousness to raise the vibration of the planet for the greatest, highest good of all.
Woo, that sounds good.
Wow.
Jess is in on that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I install that in my clients. And then the personal responsibility piece where they just keep going because they know they've got to contribute to make the world a better place. That driving force is so much stronger than, oh, I want to make $1 million. Oh, I want to buy a nice house. It's way bigger than that. And I always say to my clients, it's not just about you and your goals. It's about the difference and the impact you make on the world, right? Just like these amazing 2 that you had on before me, right? They're making a difference in the world. They're doing the damn thing. They deserve to have the financial freedom and the reward for doing that. But that's going to require a mindset shift and an energy shift in people who perhaps aren't making the money that they desire to make.
What was it for you what was the first thing that you started to make money on? When you went from like bankruptcy to, what was that thing? How did you start paying your bills?
So at the time I had 2 companies. I had a music academy and I had a music agency. And actually I got into debt because 3 of my employees decided to take the company from me and set up a competing company less than half a mile away, whilst I was in voluntary therapy for attempted suicide. So I was in a really dark place, and literally overnight I lost everything and came back to my business, and it had gone because they'd basically stolen it, and I didn't have them in legal contracts or anything like that. And it was just a case of sink or swim. It was like, I either build this back up or I start something new. So I did it all. I started rebuilding the music academy. I opened a dance studios. I took out so many loans. I mean, this is how I got into $250K of debt, right? Because I was just taking on credit, more loans, more credit, trusting and believing that somehow I'd be able to pay it all back. And I just kept investing in opportunities and just seeing if something would work. And I have to say, I did hire a lot of coaches, to help me with my mindset. I hired a spiritual guru to help me with my spirituality.
And this is all on credit?
All on credit.
So you filed bankruptcy before this, or you after?
No, so I never actually went to bankruptcy. So initially, when I lost the business, I went 60K into debt because my 3 employees had taken the business, and I still had my business overheads. So initially, I had to take out credit to pay the 60K, and then I was like, well, I'm this far in, may as well keep going. So then, I hired a coach, I invested in some other things, and that's how the debt racked up. At which point, my advisors were saying, cut it. And I was like, nope, I want to keep going. I'm going to keep going.
So what took off? What was the first thing that took off?
The first thing that took off was the dance studio. So I set up a dance studio back home in London. And there's a real shortage of space there. Creatives want places to express themselves and to film and rehearse and I'm musical, that's my background. So I set that up and I made an incredible success of that within about 2 years. So then people were approaching me and saying, oh my God, you've turned your life around. How have you done it? Will you mentor me? So I started mentoring a few people, and then the coaching business boomed, and the coaching business scaled to $1 million in under 2 years.
Wow. So tell people how they can find, follow, and work with you if they're interested in.
Oh, thank you so much. So I'm Ask Harriette, that's the brand. You can go to askharriette.co.uk. On Instagram, I am at Harriette Hale. On Facebook, I'm /Ask Harriette. But you know what? Just type Ask Harriette into Google. There's not
right up.
one.
Google her.
I'm here. I've got a money consciousness method online program at the minute, which teaches people how to do exactly what we've just been talking about, but like online. So it's not one-to-one with me. It's much more accessible. So
Thank you
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more in Good Morning La La Land.